The Duchess of Sausages spent the last 2 weeks pushing a $256 candle bundle where the main selling point was apparently a tiny matchbox you cannot buy on its own. I already talked about that on this channel. But the British internet this weekend decided the matchbox is actually the best part of the whole package because the candles themselves, according to IB Times UK, the wax has been described publicly as cheap and toxic. The candles are also tunneling, which means the wax burns straight down the middle like a sad little whale or Harry's soul, instead of melting evenly across the top. So anyone who has ever bought a $15 candle from Target knows that's the sign of a bad pour. Oh, and the brand's own promotional photo for this $256 launch, it shows a used, already burned match sitting on top of the matchbox lid. So not that glamorous, indeed. The matchbox that the whole bundle is supposedly centered around. A burned match on the lid in the official photo. So yeah, today I'm covering the As Ever signature scent collection disaster that the brand spokesperson has now ignored for 72 hours straight. The Rob Shooter Substack piece from Saturday, where an insider says Meghan told Harry he needs to start pulling his financial weight. The Ingrid Seward column saying Balmoral in August is literally the last door the king has left open for a reunion. The Thames Valley Police expanded the Prince Andrew investigation to include an incident at Royal Ascot back in 2002. And Prince Edward and Sophie leaving this morning for the first British royal visit to Portugal in 15 years. So welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Let's get down to it. I'm starting with the candles because, yeah, that paper trail on this one is cleaner than anything else the As Ever brand has produced this spring. Meghan should be proud of this. So the signature Santa collection went live on asever.com on Thursday morning. 4 hand-poured candles, each branded around a personal milestone: the wedding anniversary, Archie's birthday, Lily's birthday, and the Montecito house. I don't know why they didn't include Doria's birthday or something like that. How racist of them, but whatever. Plus, a limited edition matchbox you can only get by buying the bundle. £190 in the UK, $256 in the US. So over the weekend, British consumer reporters picked the collection apart in the most damaging product review the As Ever brand has faced since the original Jam launch. And here's what the reporting found. The candles are tunneling. So the wax burns down the center of the candle instead of across the whole surface, which is what happens when you use cheap paraffin instead of soy or beeswax. One critic on the record in the British press put it plainly. That's because she's using very cheap and toxic paraffin wax. Cheap and toxic. Yep, alright. So I guess then when the candles don't have a wick, that is actually a plus. So then there's the photo the As Ever team uploaded themselves. The official launch image for a $256 luxury candle bundle shows a burnt, used match sitting directly on top of a flammable cardboard matchbox. Yeah, not a fresh match. A used one, sitting on a box full of matches. In the promotional photograph they chose to lead with for a luxury premium product. Yeah, the comments on the IB Times UK piece have been running all weekend. The line that has stuck is this: the composition resembles a pothead's coffee table. Wow. That is public verdict on the styling choices behind an early 260 product launch. The brand spokesperson, which is working overtime as usual, has not responded to the tunnel in question. They work overtime in not responding, if that makes sense. But the wax composition question, or the obvious fire safety question about why a burned match is resting on a flammable box in the official photo, yeah, hasn't been answered for 72 hours. I think they didn't think this through not as ever, but as usual. So nothing. But now, speaking of the brand Meghan is running, if that's a thing, let me tell you what a veteran tabloid reporter Rob Shuter published Saturday afternoon, because his sourcing on the sausage household finances is the most direct it has been all year. Shuter posted to his naughty but nice Substack on Saturday, May 30. Yahoo Entertainment picked it up, and his source is somewhere close to the sausage side, and the message they deliver is not subtle. In the source's exact words, on the record Saturday, Meghan finally told Harry he needs to step up financially because she's driving the business deals, she's managing the brand, she's thinking about the future, whatever it is. And the source continued, she wants a partner who shares the responsibility and helps build the next chapter financially. Yeah, that is a veteran tabloid reporter with a named source saying that Meghan handed Harry an ultimatum about money, while the brand she's running is selling tourmaline candles at $256 a bundle, and the household is reportedly burning through $3 to $6 million a year. So basically, the Montecito bank accounts are tunneling as well. So the way Shutter's source frames it, Meghan is the engine. She has always been the engine for deceit and, graft and all that stuff. And Harry is the obstacle. And for context, Harry reportedly sits on roughly $20 million from Diana's estate and a bequest from Queen Elizabeth, locked in a trust with a restriction around education and old age. I think that Meghan needs some kind of education, but I'm not going to elaborate on that. This is not the channel for it. So on the same source list, he is refusing to touch it. Maybe he's refusing to touch Meghan as well, but again, this is not the place and time to talk about those matters. So Meghan is out here managing the brand, closing the deals, and photographing burned matches and matchboxes, and Harry's holding the line on the trust. So which one is this? Is Meghan entrepreneur? Entrepreneur doesn't need those. She can bootstrap this. Why is she complaining? I really don't understand how that works. But the closing line from Shutter's source is the one the sausage PR team would not have wanted anywhere near Yahoo Entertainment. She wants a partner who shares the responsibility. In that sense, I think that Meghan could be right, because Harry is not synonymous with responsibility at all. But that is the entire household situation in one sentence. But let me tell you what a royal author, Ingrid Seward, published in the Mirror yesterday, because her column answers a question the sausage team has apparently been quietly pushing for months. Seward's exact words: the only place that really I think they could meet if the king is to get her to know or at least see his grandchildren is at Balmoral. The only place, and she continued, is the only time the king has time, and the sausages could be accommodated there because there's lots of cottages on the estate. Yeah, but Seward's take on how it would work. The meeting could happen fairly under the radar. So there's the picture. Balmoral, in August, a king whose health has been the subject of the British press all spring. A scattered state with cottages far enough from the main house to keep things quiet, or maybe silenced. That is the only reunion scenario the royal commentary circuit sees as even remotely plausible right now. But here's the timing problem. 5 days from now, on Saturday, June the 6th, Peter Phillips, Princess Anne's son, marries Harriet Sperling at All Saints Church in Campbell in the Cotswolds. The working royals are on the guest list: William and Catherine, the Edinburghs, the Tyndalls, Andrew is not on the guest list. Sarah Ferguson is, of course, not on the guest list. And Harry, well, you know already. But Royal Central also reported over the weekend that Charles and Camilla may need to leave the reception early due to a scheduling conflict. So 5 days from now, the working royal family, the sausage team, is trying to engineer a Balmoral photo with is at a wedding Harry wasn't invited to. Which brings me to the other name missing from that guest list, because his weekend was considerably more consequential than a +1 snub. The Sunday Times broke the story on the Thames Valley police investigation Sunday morning. IB Times UK and GB News picked up it overnight. The investigation into who was once Prince Andrew has expanded. It started with allegations that Andrew shared confidential trade documents with Jeffrey Epstein, which is what triggered his arrest back in February. That charge is about misconduct in public office. That was part of the investigation, and that part of the investigation is still open. But now there's a second front. Thames Valley Police are now investigating an alleged incident involving Andrew and a waitress at Royal Ascot in the summer of 2002 during the Queen's Golden Jubilee celebrations. Thames Valley Assistant Chief Constable Oliver Wright put it on the record Sunday. Misconduct in public office is a crime that can take different forms, making his a complex investigation. So I just wanted to ask you in the comments, maybe you can guess what kind of misconduct are we talking about here? Again, it's not to defend Andrews, to make fun of the situation, but I'm pretty sure that you can be quite creative about this. So Wright added, whenever a victim survivor is ready to engage with us, we are ready for you and whatever point that may be. The investigation now formally covers sexual misconduct, corruption, and fraud. Virginia Giuffre's sister-in-law, Amanda Roberts, told Sky News Sunday morning what the expanded investigation means to them. It actually gives us hope, she said. Andrew, this morning, is at Marsh Farm, not Royal Lodge, the 30-room house he lost. His titles, of course, are gone. The Thames Valley docket now includes a 2002 Ascot afternoon alongside the Epstein trade documents that started this whole thing, and the Andrew Loney biography published May 21st is already in its second printing. So let me close on the working royal news from this morning, because the contrast with everything above is about as stark as it gets. Prince Edward and his lovely wife Sophie flew to Portugal this morning for a 3-day official visit. This is the first British royal visit to Portugal in 15 years. The last time a working royal couple landed on Portuguese soil was Charles and Camilla back in 2011. So the British Embassy in Lisbon commissioned a new formal portrait of Edward and Sophie from photographer Millie Pilkington ahead of the trip. Edward and Sophie will travel between Lisbon and Porto over the 3 days. And the official reason for the timing, the 640th anniversary of the Treaty of Windsor, signed in 1386. It's the oldest active diplomatic alliance anywhere in the world. Britain and Portugal still going. Those were the days, by the way. How far have we come? So the agenda covers youth opportunity, sports inclusion, and the women peace and security work Sophie has been championing as a foreign office ambassador. You know that she's a machine. Students, community groups, historical sites, we're going to be counting up to them. The embassy's framing is to celebrate the enduring historical ties and modern relationship between the United Kingdom and Portugal. Yeah, no jam, marmalade, or matchbox, or burned matches, or tunneling candles. No, just the work. But let me know what you think in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss.